Here we are. All right, welcome everyone. It's 4 p.m. on Thursday, June 9th, 2022, and this is the Library Board meeting in New Ulm, Minnesota. So, welcome everybody. The first item is to approve the agenda, which we all have in our packet. Can I have a motion?
I'll second.
All right, motion and second. Any discussion about the agenda? I know we do have some other business at the end, so that's understood. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have an agenda. And now, everyone, we have a new Assistant Library Director. Megan, why don't you take the lead here?
Thank you. My name's Megan Kitterman. I grew up in Minnesota. I've recently returned. I feel very fortunate to have the Assistant Library Director position. I worked in Pima County in southern Arizona for 14 years in public libraries for a very large library system with 27 branches. It was almost 300 square miles, the county. I really enjoy public library service, and I look forward to working with April and the library team and finding ways to serve the community in even better ways.
Okay.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Okay,
I
thank you.
look forward to working with everyone.
Good. Well, welcome to New Ulm.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome to New Ulm. Thank you, Megan. Thank you for that. And now we have minutes from our May meeting. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any comments or questions about the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, we've got.
So April, did you explain that the Assistant Library Director has to take minutes?
I did, but
Okay.
I'm giving her a break today since she was
There you
just
go.
learning people's names.
Okay, let's go move on to the financial report, April.
All right. We are 41.92% through 2022, and our budget is approximately 33.18% expended. Bills that we paid during the month of May included $1,693.35 to ProQuest for the renewal of our Ancestry Library Edition subscription. That is a database for genealogical research. And then we paid $424.58 to Demco, which is the vendor we most often use for book processing materials and audio book processing materials. We also paid our first half of our 2022 member fees to Traverse de Sioux Library System. That first half came to $17,186.04. And then we also paid our total 2022 overdrive fees to TDS, and that was a total of $6,938.86. We also replaced the mulch in the 2 landscaping beds that are in front of the library on the Broadway side. And that was from funds that were in the Wanda Gog Sculpture Committee's money that they gave to the library when they disbanded the committee. That was $352 worth of mulch for both of those beds, as well as the bed along the back side of the library in the newer building. And the street department completed the work for us at no additional cost to the library.
Now, do we still have volunteers that kind of take care of the area out front where the Wanda Gog statue is?
I haven't been able to make contact with the volunteers we've had in the past, so
Okay.
I'm looking at possible solutions as to how we move forward with the
Okay.
landscaping.
Any other questions or comments about the financial report? Okay, we'll move on. Let's hear the Library Department activities report and statistics, April.
All right. So I didn't have the full numbers for you in May, but I wanted to share the United Way's free tax program stats. They had a great year this year. They used our meeting room and ended their season of tax preparation on April 21st. They had 13 tax preparers overall, and they prepared 662 taxes, an increase of 141 returns over 2021. Of those helped this year, 181 people used this free service for the first time. So it was a great year for that. That service is in demand. We start to get calls right at January 1st for people who are interested in making their appointments. The city is moving from paper time cards to digital time cards. We'll be using the ExecuTime software. Library staff are helping to test the system for the next 3 pay periods before more departments move on to the software. So we'll just be working through that transition. Right now, we're just in the testing phase. Our materials delivery to the middle school will pause for the summer. We just got our last shipment of books back from them, and so we'll wait until the fall to start dropping off and picking up materials again when the school year starts. And our summer reading program started this week on Monday. So far, we've passed out 321 reading logs to families. We had 28 at our story time on Monday. We partnered with Parks and Rec for an open swim on Tuesday and had 190 kids there. And the first few events that we are requiring registration for are full. So we are back in business with summer reading. It's been a really fun week so far. So I'm very excited about how that's going for us. And then our library staff have begun focusing on in-depth weeding and collection maintenance and database cleanup ahead of our migration to our new integrated library system that will happen early next year.
Any comments or questions? The library is so reliable. That's why you're testing out the new systems. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and I'm glad that the summer reading program is going so well. It was so nice last time to listen to our enthusiastic children's librarian tout those activities. So, all right, moving on to the library programming calendar. Is there any comments there?
The June programming calendar is enclosed in the library board packet. All of those events are also available to view on our website. And if anything is registered, you can register through the website. As I mentioned, the summer reading program is in full swing, and a full list of those programs is available on the website. A couple that I wanted to call out is the Be a Buccaneer on Thursday, June 23rd at 3:30 p.m. at the library. Captain Kidd will take us on an adventure where magic and silliness, a sword fight, a flea circus, and a pirate test ensue. And kids might even get their own pirate name if they attend. That is made possible by a grant provided by TDS and with the Arts and Cultural Heritage funding through the state of Minnesota.
Wonderful.
We also have Concert in the Park with the pint-sized polkas on Monday, June 27th at 7 p.m. That'll be in the German Park Amphitheater. So just come down and join us. It's presented by the library, KNUJ, and New Ulm Park and Recreation. And that was also made possible with Arts and Cultural Heritage funding. Our main location is the Civic Center.
Great. Any questions or comments? Anything anybody wants to say? Staffing update.
Yes. So we are on our way to fully staffed again, which is fantastic. So Sue Otto started with us on May 31st as a library aide. She had worked at the library previously as a library aide, so we were very happy to welcome her back. So she's in full swing with her training. Megan started on June 6th, and we're just overwhelming her daily with all of the information she'll need to know. And then we have a youth services aide starting June 21st. So
Great.
we're very excited to.
Fully staffed. That's
back to
wonderful.
fully
It's
staffed.
just wonderful. Great. Great. Just in time for next year's budget.
Yes.
Next year's budget.
So on the 2023 budget discussion, I had an outline of some notes in the board packet. I'd be happy to go through those step by step if you'd like, or if the board would like me to call out certain things, I can certainly do that.
Well, just speaking for myself, you know, some of the things I'd like to talk about are the things that we have something to say about. I mean, we don't have anything to say about what the health insurance is going to be, you know. So, but, and again, I've paid attention to a couple of things. You said that the library staff have identified a need to purchase small promotional items to hand out to patrons and help promote the library. I'd like to hear about, what's it going to be, little tiny little book chains, or don't you know yet?
We haven't made a decision on what the items will be, but we've been approached by, like for instance, the Brown County Fair, when they have their Kids Day, they've asked for something from the library to put in the little goodie bags that they give out to the kids, and we'd like to be able to participate in that. In the past, we've created and printed a bookmark in-house, but we think it would be fun to be able to give them a lanyard or a pencil branded with the library. So that's kind of what we're looking to do with those lines.
So I see you've only got $500 currently budgeted for that. You feel that's going to be sufficient, or they think that's just, okay, let's take a stab at it and see how it goes?
That's kind of my estimate for the first year to see how we do with that. I don't think we need to buy a lot of merchandise to give out, but just to have something on hand when we've got those requests.
Now, is there something we can do, like create on the 3D printer, little things that could be, because with the footprint, you can make a lot of little things at one time that could be handed out?
It's possible we could look at something like that. We'd have to figure out what it would be and how much filament it would take
Right.
to decide if it was cost effective for us.
Yeah.
But it's a possibility for
I mean, that'd be something you can ask Leroy about, and I know he likes playing with that toy, and he can, maybe come up with some creative ideas on something like that. Because I know at where I work, we have a 3D printer, and we've kind of used it for creating trinkets and stuff like that for handing out. So it's kind of if you have the right idea and people can relate it to the library, and you can make it inexpensively enough,
It's a good idea.
that'd be good.
Thank you.
Anyone else have things that stood out for them?
So the overall increase is, $13,000, which seems like a lot, but it's only 1.5%. Do you feel that that's going to be any problem with the city for asking for that amount of increase?
I talked with the finance director and had her take a look over this draft of the budget, and she thought that was reasonable considering inflation
Mm-hmm.
and some of the things we want to accomplish next year.
Okay.
She thought
Yeah,
it a
that
great
was
first
kind of what
draft.
I was wondering, because, as we all know, inflation is way higher than that. So I'm just want to make sure that we're not shortchanging ourselves, but making sure that the city is not going to feel like we're overreaching either.
And then, at least, speaking for myself, I was really quite interested in the second page where you said you were waiting on budget quotes for several potential projects that we would have from the fund balance. And I'm most interested in freestanding study rooms and furniture. Can you talk about that? I think I have some idea about whether those are little cubicles like we used to work in, or if, tell us what you've got in mind there.
Well, one thing that we don't have to offer to our patrons right now is a private study room. We have our meeting room, but we rent that out, and it's not completely private. New Cat's down there while things are going on. So if someone's in a Zoom interview or something, there's just not a good place to do that at the library right now. And so one thing I've been considering is how we can offer a study room without doing a major renovation to the building. And you can purchase, cubicles that you can put together that have a ceiling and are completely enclosed, and that those could function as a study room for us. And I'm thinking that it could possibly be something that we put up in the nonfiction area where we're looking at remodeling that as part of our strategic plan.
Well, and I've been at book club meetings where you can see it's pretty obvious that there's maybe a tutor and 2 or 3 students, and they're just out in the open. And so I think that I've personally identified a need for some private spaces, and I would hope that we could get something that would be flexible enough to maybe put 2 together and may have a larger room or something like that.
Yes, I know that the way this came to my attention was I knew the need for the study room, But the college in Mankato, the University of Minnesota or Minnesota State University, they added these study pods throughout campus during the pandemic. And they ran into an issue where some of the pods were not handicap accessible, so that's be something that we would have to be aware of. But there are different sizes of these you can purchase. So you can purchase ones that are made for more individual use, or you can purchase some that are made for groups to use. And so we would just have to identify what our needs are and if we need to buy two or if we can get by with one to start.
Well, and just, you said you're waiting for quotes. Waiting for, well, I think that's really, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And I know that one of the unmet goals was the revamping of that area. That might be a start to sort of see where things are going and how people use that. They wouldn't, they would probably have windows, so it wouldn't be completely enclosed, right?
Yes, I would want to choose a model that had the ability for staff to be able to monitor what's happening inside the room.
Right. Good.
One question with that, do you know, are they pretty effective with keeping the noise inside of the cubicle from your experience?
I think it depends on the model you purchase. I've looked at
Okay.
a few different companies that offer it. One that I looked at, you could kind of build it to be open air, and then you could buy sound absorbing pieces that would effectively be the ceiling. Some are kind of more of an enclosed pod altogether that you purchase. So I don't think it would be complete noise control, but much better than some of the little nooks we're offering now.
Yeah.
Right. Well, exciting. That's exciting. I appreciate the work you're doing there. Anything else? I noticed another thing, waiting for budgetary quotes, is landscaping around the exterior of the children's building. That's the old building, right?
Yes.
That's the old Art Deco building.
We, I mentioned it to the board, we had to take a tree out by the flagpole on the Broadway side. The rock in that landscaping is looking pretty rough after that tree came out of there. And when I was looking around the building, a lot of the rock is getting pretty sparse in there. I would like to, if it's financially feasible, to take the rock out and put mulch in there so that when we refresh the mulch in the spring, it can just be done all around the whole building in one swoop. And then add a tree or a shrub back into that spot by the flagpole because it's looking pretty bare.
Great.
So what were you thinking for the camera system?
The camera system, I would like to have cameras by the exits so we can monitor the flow of traffic, and then just kind of in corners of the floor so we can see where things are happening. We haven't had a huge problem with theft or anything. We did have the one Chromebook catalog that was stolen several years ago, but it hasn't been an ongoing problem for us. For me, the focus with the cameras is safety for our patrons and staff and being able to have that monitored. When I worked at the West Fargo Library, we had a system where staff could look at the feeds in real time. So, if you hear a noise up in this corner, you can turn on the feed at the computer you're working at and see what's going on.
Great.
Yeah, security systems and cameras now are getting to be so inexpensive. I mean, with like Ring doorbells and stuff like that. I mean, you can do a lot for a little. The next phase of the carpeting, what are we thinking for this year?
So this year we would be replacing the children's room carpeting, and then if all goes well with the roof replacement over nonfiction will be our last floor. The square footage and the amount of furniture to be moved up there right now is very similar to what is in the fiction department, and I think that phase of carpeting ran us about $24,000 this past year. And so with inflation, I'm expecting that we maybe need to budget like $30,000 for the last two phases.
So were you thinking of going
each.
with the same contractor for that, or because it's different floors, we can mix things up and, have it be, complementary carpet, not necessarily the same as what we got before?
I think we were able to get a good match this time when we did the fiction floor compared to when we did the main floor the year before. I would love to do the same carpet if it's available. If not, I think we've been able to find something that was complementary. It will depend on what the bids show us as
Right.
far as price, but I was really pleased with the vendor we used for the fiction floor. They did a really nice job with the furniture moving. It was very painless for staff
Yeah.
and patrons.
So are we still required to then competitively bid that then? Okay. And then the window washing, didn't we have that done a year or two ago?
Yes, we had it done last year. We have it budgeted for this year.
You're looking at the same, you have to competitively bid that too, or can you?
That one, I think the cost might be low enough where we don't have to.
Yeah. So are you looking to reach out to the same person who, or vendor who did it?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
see where they can land for
And you were
us.
happy with their performance and service last year?
Yep, I
Okay.
didn't have any issues.
Great. Anyone else? Anything else? On to
The one I wanted to note is under those budgetary quotes, the new shelving for the children's room.
Okay.
We're looking at just a portion of the shelving right now that sits out in the middle section where like the children's DVDs and things are. We just don't have enough space right there, so we want to see if there's a way we can find a little bit more space with those shelving units. And also, they're getting a little wobbly, and that is not safe for us, so we
No.
want to get those replaced before
No.
it becomes an issue. So those shelving units would possibly be covered by the money that's left in the donations fund that was set aside for the children's room project. It just depends on how much those shelving units are going to cost and how many we need to order. Right. So far, we've just had difficulty locating somewhere that could get us enough shelving all at the same time. Supply chain.
Anything else? Anything else? Good. Good, good. On to next year. All right. Well, and we'll be talking about the budget as we move forward.
Yes, the library board will need to approve the budget at next month's meeting so that I can submit it to the finance department by July 29th.
Good.
And then it will go through the city council's approval process.
You expect to have all the quotes back by then?
I'm hopeful for it.
Otherwise, you put in an estimate then?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Well, pick that up again next month. Next item on the agenda is a resolution to accept more money. I love this. This is resolution number 2022-10, accepting the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund grant for programs. And at its May meeting, the Traverse des Sioux Regional Library Board awarded New Ulm Public Library with an Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund grant in the amount of $300 for a presentation by author Colin Mustfull during the U.S. Dakota War Commemoration Week. Mustfull will trace the history of the war and identify multiple perspectives and factors that led to the war and its aftermath. I did go on Mr. Mustfull's Facebook page and looked up. He writes historical fiction, and so he can, sounds like he's going to be a colorful speaker, right? So.
He has spoken at the library before.
Okay, all right. Well, and he's back. Good. Then I need a motion to authorize this, accept the resolution.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Anything else? Anyone else have any comments or questions? Otherwise, we'll take the roll.
All right. Vince Burgo,
Yes.
Dustin Souter,
Yes.
Bernice Schmitz,
Yes.
Ting Ting Schwartz,
Yes.
Ruth Ann Webster.
Yes. And now we have some other business.
Yes.
All right.
I just wanted to announce that the Brown County Library Board will meet Monday, June 13th at 7 p.m. at the New Ulm Public Library. They will be discussing the first half of the disbursement from our county funds for 2022, and then they will be discussing what the appropriations request will be to the county commissioners. And we usually meet with the county commissioners in August. So we'll have more information after that meeting.
And that meeting is at the county commissioners.
The budget meeting in August will be, yes.
Yes, okay. All right.
So is that down in the meeting room then?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else? Any other business? Any other business? All right. Wait a minute. Here we go. We're ready. We have last chance. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.